The more habitats you have, the bigger the mosaic, the bigger the diversity, the more species you're catering to. So it's a great draw for wildlife.
Carbon Neutral Britain, they're not just supporting tree planting, it's about preserving and protecting spaces like this as well.
The appetite is to do the right thing, to take responsibility for their emissions.
You know, when the naysayers say, well, just planting a tree isn't going to make any difference, it really does. You can start small and nature will go, great, you've given me a chance. I'll help you now, and we'll just make what you've started bigger and better and richer and more valuable for all our sakes. I'm with Carbon Neutral Britain, visiting one of their project partners in the Forest of Marston Vale in Bedfordshire. Once a thriving industrial hub, this land just a few decades ago looked very different. For years, Marston Vale played a key role in Britain's industrial past. Once a global centre for brickmaking, it produced around 20% of England's bricks, with 135 chimneys dominating the skyline. But the industry left its mark: polluted air, thick smog, and clay pits that eventually became landfill sites. The landscape was deeply scarred, and tree coverage in the area dropped to a very low 3.6%, around a third of the national average at the time. Today, we're going to be finding out how people are reclaiming this land by planting trees for communities, for wildlife, and, crucially, our planet.
We're going to grab a spade each and a mallet. I've got some trees. Fabulous. So we've got different sizes. You might, Kate,
I might need a fat one.
A large one.
Carbon Neutral Britain is the UK's leading carbon offsetting provider and helps businesses take action via measuring, reducing and reversing their emissions. Alongside verified projects around the world, a key focus is to support UK climate action through project partners and tree planting initiatives such as this.
Always something so satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, we're planting the future, aren't we?
Yeah, spot on.
Right, Rabina, I'm armed and dangerous.
Fabulous. That's exactly what we need. Let me move this out of your way.
Do you want to start? Shall I start clearing a little
would
space?
be perfect. I'll move the stake out of the way for you.
So, what was this land like?
So I can remember in the early 90s driving through this area, and you very much had to sort of do up your windows because the air it wasn't a pleasant place to be. So that's why the area was designated as one of the 12 community forests by the government in 1991.
You're saying this idea was 30 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but that's younger than us. This
It
woodland is younger than us.
Indeed. And the beauty of it is that it's not just about planting trees because they look great or because trees are great for the environment, but there are social and economic benefits to actually planting trees as well.
But how do we make sure that the woodlands we plant today are cared for long into the future?
So tell me about this lovely place.
So we're in Rectory Wood
Okay.
in Cranfield.
Yeah.
It's a small village, and Rectory Wood is one of our 13 community woodlands.
So like the place we were in earlier, but how many
Yeah.
years on?
So from around 2003 to 13, we planted this area. Lots of different species, all intermingled to create a really natural space.
Still can't get my head round that this woodland that feels so established is so young.
And that's the beauty of trees. They can transform a land in a relatively short space of time, and it's something that's going to be here for hundreds of years.
And I mean, we know obviously that trees are enormously important regarding capturing carbon, but people are realising more and more that trees have another role to play with regards to things like flood management. Is that right?
When we were planting rectory wood here, we actually worked with the local authority to understand where there had been flooding, and we put ponds in so that the water would run down, feed the ponds, create that natural habitat and protect the local housing as well. And with organisations like Carbon Neutral Britain, they're not just supporting tree planting, it's about preserving and protecting spaces like this as well.
The importance of a forest goes beyond what we can see. Its roots bind the soil together and they create habitats for a variety of wildlife. But it's not just about planting trees. It's about allowing nature to thrive by rebuilding entire ecosystems, where every species, every insect, every bird, every thread of the landscape is connected.
I just got a flash of kind of white with dark tips on the one to the left, so it's a bit smaller, isn't it? But yeah, so we've got
Marsh Harrier there. How exciting! What's surprising to me, Nicola, is that I thought you were all about woodland.
No, a lot of people think that, but no, we have a great mosaic of different habitats here at the Millennium Country Park, reed bed being one of them. This was all created in the late 90s, about 30 years ago. So
there was no wetland here before?
No wetland before. It was ex-clay pit and it was farmland before this. So all of this has been grown up in the last 30 years.
That is astonishing. I mean, if you look at that, it looks like it's been here forever.
Yeah.
And by having woodland and wetland side by side, presumably that increases the number of species that can exist in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. The more habitats you have, the bigger the mosaic, the bigger the diversity, the more species you're catering to. So it's a great draw for wildlife. This is an ideal site for it.
Is that a bittern booming?
That is a bittern booming. So it's one of 2 resident bitters that we have here.
But that, I mean, bitterns have numbers have declined. I know they're increasing now. But
Another one over there.
oh, they're now competing.
Yes, they're after the same lady there.
That's astonishing. Oh, it is just beautiful. Right, should we move on? There's so much to see here. See, you can't do that on every Tuesday afternoon, can you?
No.
Well, you can. Are you seeing year on year change, either more species or different species moving in or breeding when they weren't breeding before?
Absolutely. I've been here for 6 years now. When I first started, and we were working on our reed beds and keeping our water levels just so. And we actually ended up with the first recorded breeding attempt for bittern in Bedfordshire. The marsh harriers have come in since I started.
It's obviously you, Nicola.
It's me. No, it's the work that my colleagues have been doing for the last 30 years that's brought this habitat to this point and brought all this wildlife in. So, yeah.
It makes me understand that a sort of post-industrial landscape, it can be a landfill site for one generation, and the next generation, it can be this, with the right support and the right dedication and foresight.
Yeah.
And is that why partnerships with organisations like Carbon Neutral Britain are so important?
Absolutely. The funding that organisations like Carbon Neutral Britain help us to manage these habitats the way that we do. It all costs money. We have to have specialist equipment come in to be able to cut the reed beds the way we need them to be cut. We've got staff costs, and we have other contractors who'll come in and manage the woodlands the way we need them to be managed, and to help us plant them as well, because as fantastic a job as our corporate friends do coming in and helping us to plant them, there's always more to do.
Well, it has been a really illuminating, uplifting day. Do you sit here sometimes and think, my little bit of the planet is kind of doing all right? Yeah. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
You should all be very proud of yourself. It's very special. Thank you.
Thank you.
With over 1,000 customers and access to over 350 projects worldwide, Carbon Neutral Britain's impact does not stop here in Bedfordshire. As well as supporting tree planting activities around the country, Carbon Neutral Britain is at the forefront of both climate and biodiversity-focused projects here in the UK. Some recent projects include hay meadow and peatland restoration, as well as an exciting new partnership with the National Trust in Dorset. Here, Carbon Neutral Britain is the principal supporter of eco-moorings within Studland Bay. This helps protect native seagrass meadows, a great carbon sink, but also a vital marine habitat for the UK's seahorses. Nature's recovery doesn't end here in the UK. From wind and solar power to marine conservation and mangrove restoration, Carbon Neutral Britain is funding solutions that go beyond the tree line, creating lasting impact from our landscapes to our oceans. By funding projects such as this one in Bedfordshire, around the UK and worldwide, Carbon Neutral Britain helps businesses and individuals make a real impact in the fight against climate change, contributing to a healthier planet for future generations. But is it enough?
Teresa, Carbon Neutral Britain puts a lot of effort into encouraging companies to engage with climate action projects, both here in the UK and abroad. What's the response that you're getting from businesses?
So we've been really overwhelmed, to be honest. It's great to see there are so many businesses that have that appetite to address their carbon footprint. They want to get involved with supporting projects, as you say, here in the UK, but also globally as well. So being able to kind of facilitate that and speak to them about that is really exciting.
There are two approaches regarding a business's environmental responsibilities. One is to reduce carbon, and the other is to offset.
Correct.
Why do you need both?
So ultimately what we say to businesses is that reducing emissions and having an accurate calculation of their footprint is really, really important as a first step. But there are kind of global bodies, the UN, for example, have stated that businesses need to take action in the next 5 years to ensure that we can actually reverse any changes to the climate. And that is where that offsetting comes in. It really is a short-term solution until we can perfect longer-term solutions like reduction and decarbonisation strategies.
And that's what Carbon Neutral Britain offers.
Correct.
A long-term solution, so the ideal, which is the reduction, but in the meantime doing the right thing by offsetting the carbon that they cannot reduce in the short term.
Correct. Yeah. So we offer both. Helping businesses to focus on their reduction strategies, getting that analysis and that detail for them, whilst also enabling them to get involved with supporting global offsetting projects and projects here in the UK as well. So it's a real mix.
We've seen what happens when landscapes are pushed to the brink. But we've also seen what's possible when nature is given the chance to recover. So the question is, not just can we help restore nature, but will we? Carbon Neutral Britain is already acting. Businesses have a huge role to play.
So join the Carbon Neutral Britain movement for the future of our communities, for biodiversity and for our planet.